Welcome to the 6th Annual Civic Service Awards ceremony sponsored by the Cupertino City Council. I'm Gagne, I'm the Community Relations Officer for the city, and I'd like to thank you all for being so patient and for joining us tonight. This is a very special and very important event for the city. It's the one time during the year that we take a special moment out and thank the people in the community who have, through their own personal efforts and achievements, given so much to us and managed to make Cupertino an even better place to live and to work. This evening we pay tribute to 16 people who have dedicated a lion's share of time, energy, and talent in 6 different areas. Those categories are business, cultural arts, community service, education, recreation, and volunteerism. I hope that you'll all enjoy the program tonight, and I ask you please remember that this represents only a very small measure of the gratitude that we people from the city do feel for these volunteers. Before turning the mic over to Mayor Gaubatz, I'd like to acknowledge and give special thanks to Tandem Computers for making this facility available for us. In the course of trying to find a building that would meet our needs, we did search the city, and Tandem, especially John Joyce, the architectural design manager, has been particularly cooperative and helpful and very supportive in trying to accommodate our needs. John Joyce is standing right over there, and I'd like you all to recognize him. I'd also like to thank the City Manager and Secretary Lauren Newman and my assistant Carol Frausto for their efforts in coordinating this program. And if you haven't already noticed, we're being videotaped by Channel 53, the municipal channel from the city of Cupertino. As of this moment, we're on the airwaves live. For those of you who are taping the show, you'll be able to see yourselves shortly, I'm sure, as soon as you go home if you want. For other people, we will be rebroadcasting this program throughout the year, and I believe the next broadcast is scheduled for Monday night before the council meeting at around 6 o'clock. So tune in if you like. For purposes of the camera, the TV crew has asked that all recipients use the center aisle here when you come up to accept your award, and then on your way back, if you could just cross over this rug and go toward the rear of the room where you will have your picture taken with Mayor Gaubatz. And in 2 weeks' time in the mail, you'll receive your photograph. And speaking of the mayor, I'd now like to introduce him, Mayor John Gaubatz.
Thank you, Donna. We will also have 8x10s signed and introduced for everybody else that wants a photograph. I would also like to add the council's thanks and the city's thanks to Tandem for being gracious hosts this evening. We thank you again, John, for that kind invitation. As Don indicated, this is the 6th annual Citizens Award ceremony. When the council first thought of this idea, it wanted to find a mechanism, a means to honor and recognize the members of the community who give that something extra, the volunteer effort that makes this community as great as it is. And we chose this medium, the Civic Service Awards, and I think as each year has gone by and we end up with more and more paraphernalia to recognize the award ceremony, it's been really gratifying to see the outreach and the growth and the actual number of people within this community we've been able to recognize and give some recognition to. Because it's really true that the volunteers of this community provide the strength and the quality and the compassion which makes the city as great as it is. Without any further ado, we'll get into tonight's award ceremony, and I'd like to this time introduce John Plungy, Mayor Pro Tem, who will make the Recreation and Education Awards. John.
Thank you, John. Good evening. The awards that I will be presenting tonight are in the fields of education and recreation. First of all, I wish to issue a disclaimer. The fact that I teach in the Fremont High School District has nothing to do with the fact that 2 of the people receiving awards teach in that district. Committee, but I am honored that we can honor some of these educators. There are going to be 4 recipients in these categories. And the first recipient is Marc Roth. Marc, come forward, please. Stand here while we talk about you a bit. Marc is a teacher at Cupertino High School, and I think one of the things that brought Marc to many people's attention is his willingness to go beyond the classroom. The classroom not being viewed as the four walls, but the classroom going out into the community. He's been very active in the De Anza Optimist Club. He's worked with them in a very special way to set up an Octagon Club, a student service club, but for those special education students within Cupertino High School. The Octagon Club, as part of the Optimist Club, is dedicated to public service. And the Optimist Club does have these clubs in other high schools. But this is a very special group of students, and Marc's work with them certainly has been outstanding. And so here we have an educator who spends his time in the classroom, but who has gone far beyond the classroom, out into the community, and working with young students to bring them into the life of the community. And I think they benefit from it. I know Marc benefits from it, and certainly the community benefits from it. So Marc, on behalf of the City of Cupertino, congratulations.
We have started our own Octagon Club here, which is kind of like a small optimist club on campus, which gives the kids their own responsibilities of running a club. And it's worked out beautifully. The kids have really enjoyed it. They look forward to it. And we look forward to having a lot more activities within the community and being a lot more involved with the Optimist Club.
Our next recipient is Charlie Dexter. Charlie. Stand right there and give me instructions. We have to watch the tape before I say anything.
Education is a new 1,000 challenges a day. And were it not, I would have left it a long time ago, I think. But I enjoy it very, very much. It never stagnates. Something new every day, new students every day, new challenges every day, and affecting the lives of kids in a positive manner is very, very important to me.
A few things about Charlie. He has been an administrator, teacher and administrator in the Fremont High School District for some 29 years. Much of that time he's been an administrator and director of student activities. And those of you who have had any contact with the schools know that the director of student activities is one who is expected to walk on water and do other assorted things as well, dealing with the students. It takes a lot of time. And Charlie has given of that time, but I think what we have to see here is he has gone beyond that in so many ways. Working with the students, willing to go that extra mile. He's one of the outstanding administrators, and he's, what I like about Charlie, and there's some personal things in here, he's a very warm person, a caring person. Many years ago, my father worked as a custodian over at Burke High School while Charlie was there. My dad has since retired, but I don't think there's a time when I meet Charlie, he doesn't say, "How's your dad doing?" Give him my best. He cares about people, and I think that's really significant. So Charlie, on behalf of, one other thing I was going to mention about you. Not in the script. Last Christmas time, I happened to be over at Cupertino Community Services. Here's Charlie with some of the kids unloading a pickup truck filled with handmade wooden toys that they had done at the school. And he's giving up his time, too. He could have said to the kids, okay, take it over. He was there personally to do it. But Charlie, on behalf of the city of Cupertino, thank you very, very much. Also, okay, making sure I'm following the right thing. The next recipient is Richard Popejoy.
some of my best friends are kids that I've coached now, and their families. I guess that's the biggest thing I get out of it is it's the interpersonal relationships that I develop, and it's not like they're gone. I really enjoy seeing kids. I mean, it isn't a week go by here at the office where somebody doesn't drop in that I've coached over the years, and it's. I guess that's probably the most enjoyable part of the whole thing is not winning or the losing or the championships, but the camaraderie and the people I've met and really become close to.
Another wonderful award winner who numbers among his accomplishments the fact that, first of all, he graduated from Cupertino High School, class of 64, I believe. Very proud of that. Good. Head coach in 1988 of Cupertino High School's Frost-Soft football team. He's been head wrestling coach at Cupertino High School for 7 years. His teams were the varsity and JV league champions 4 years in a row. No other coach in the history of the Yanza Athletic League has done that in any male sport. He's organized and co-sponsored the Tino Freestyle Wrestling Club from 1981 to 86. He has served as chairman of the 1988 Cupertino Community Services Barbecue. Will be co-chairman for 1989. I don't know if you knew that or not, but we're announcing it. He has sponsored numerous local youth baseball and soccer teams. Now you think this is, Cupertino's own John Madden and doing all these things here, but he also has a profession. He has to earn a living. He's a dentist here, and he has his dental practice, and he's very good. He's also been an instructor at UC San Francisco in the dental school. And I guess I would have to say is if I had him as my dentist, I would always say, yes, I will floss. Richard, on behalf of the city of Cupertino, thank you very much and congratulations. Our final recipient, Dean Skeels.
Well, I feel like Cupertino is by far the best place that there is to live. Through my affiliation with Parks and Rec on the state level, I've talked to a lot of people in different communities throughout the state of California, and I'm convinced that this is by far the best place. And I'm just interested in doing all that I can to preserve open space, to see the people have leisure time, leisure activities, and just do the best that I can for the city of Cupertino.
I think that last statement by Dean to do the best he can for the city of Cupertino, if we look at his accomplishments, we certainly see that he has devoted himself to the city. In some ways, we can also say he is our own Mr. Music Man, too, because if we're going to have a parade in town, whether it's a tournament of bands, bicentennial, heritage parade, look out there, and there's Dean leading the way, making sure everyone steps off on time. He's been a judge in the tournament of bands. He also is, as was mentioned in the tape, a member and has served as chair of our Parks and Recreation Commission. And not only is he recognized by us here in Cupertino as being a wonderful person, a wonderful leader and the like, but he's also been recognized in the state as well because he serves in leadership positions in the state Parks and Recreation Commission group. So we are so pleased, Dean, that we've had you here working with us, and we know this is not the end. We don't just give you an award and you walk away because you're there giving 100%. And I know when we have the groundbreaking later this year for our new community center and we have the opening of it, I know you'll be there because you were one of the vital members of the committee that helped to design the community center. So Dean, on behalf of the city, thank you very much for having us. I'd like to introduce Councilmember Phil Johnson.
Good evening. An honor to be here in order to present in the categories of business and cultural arts. And our first recipient this evening is in business and is Ted Gagne. Ted, are you here?
The community service that I do is a way to say thank you to the taxpayers, because it's their support of the public school system that has allowed me to become a doctor of veterinary medicine. And I think my own self-esteem and my sense of self-worth would suffer if I didn't give something back to the community. I see it as part of being a complete citizen and participating fully in the life of one's community. And I do get a great deal of satisfaction from developing a project and seeing it come to fruition, and then being able to help those that really need a hand once in a while.
I was extremely impressed by the quality and the depth of the service that each one of the people that I'm presenting awards to this evening have. But even more than that, you can immediately tell the impact they've had on the community. Because each of the nomination forms that were filled out went to just a tremendous amount of detail. You could really show that these people have had a significant impact on the people that they've come in touch with. Ted is no exception. He has worked within his profession as a veterinarian, provided important service to the community, far more than just getting Cupertino. He's designed and tested a plan to raise funds for the San Francisco SBC's Hearing Dog program. And the plan was adopted statewide by the State of California's Veterinary Medical Association, and 385 clinics participate in that program, and which has collected more than $8,000 so far. His efforts will allow a hearing impaired individual in Cupertino to have a hearing dog to enhance and protect his life. He has a fantastic record of accomplishment over the years. I'd like to share some of the awards that he's had. He's been a Marc Norris Fellow, National Institute of Health Fellowship, Hospital Merit Award, Veterinary State Chairman of the Year, Gagne of the Year, Veterinarian State Chairman of the Year. Basically, whenever anybody needed a Man of the Year, I think they'd come to play. So, basically, on behalf of the city, I'd like to congratulate you and wish you continued success. In the area of cultural arts, I'd like to call Elliot Margolies.
Well, what we do here at Channel 30 is provide a forum for anyone in the community to come in and translate the things that they feel passionate about onto videotape. So we have senior citizens and Vietnamese refugees. We have rock and rollers, comedians, and all sorts of people that come in either on a regular basis or when something is crucial to them to make a program and share it with the people in the community that have an interest in it.
I've known Elliot for a long time. I think we're extremely lucky to have him. Let me tell you something about him first. He served as a community access coordinator for Channel 30 for more than 3 years now, and he's located on the Deanza campus. During the time, something very significant. He's really helped put Cupertino on the map on the national basis. He's brought national recognition to the city and to Channel 30 with 3 successful overall excellence in public access award nominations. And those nominations have resulted in 2 national awards. And it's fairly significant for a city of our size to come in first 2 years running. He devotes a tremendous amount of time, hundreds of hours, far more than those are hundreds of hours beyond the level of his job, and he spends a lot of time in general access, outreach, talking to people, training people, and in effect really has helped create and open new vistas for hundreds of people within the community. He's encouraged groups and individuals and helped teach our community what access is all about and the power that access has. And he's done a tremendous amount of work in training seniors, other groups, school officials, and certainly those of us that are directly involved with the city. I consider him, I know that his peers consider him to be the best access coordinator in the nation. So on behalf of the city, I'd like to congratulate you. And also in the area of cultural arts, I'd like to call up Jan Rindfleisch. Jan?
To me, it's a total activity from the moment I wake up in the morning until I go to bed at night. And that's because it fits in with all these different dimensions, whether it's poetry or music or the latest scientific accomplishments, something that they're doing at NASA or in the computer companies. I think that there's art to what people do, whether it's an art to bring up children or to running a company or to designing a new computer program. And I like to find that and bring it into the gallery as I can. And it's a strange sort of thing because some people just think it's the painting on the wall that goes behind the couch. And I like to see it in a lot more direction. Just the general creativity, speaking to each other in a visual language. That's what a gallery can be, talking about how we speak to each other in visual terms as opposed to words or written words.
Jan has put in a tremendous effort and has worked steadily and creatively during her 9 years as director of the Effect Gallery in Cupertino, and has helped to bring the Fine Arts program to one of the highest levels that I think that you can achieve. It's throughout my travels in the community or in this part of the country, it's always amazing the number of people that have not only heard of the gallery but have been there. And it's taken a lot of work to bring the gallery to this point. She's organized and presented more than 60 exhibits to a combined audience of more than 100,000 people. No small task, and that's including the children. As a curator, she's developed a 30-member advisory board for the gallery and has recently been appointed to the Santa Clara County Fine Arts Council. So on behalf of the city, on behalf of the council, I'd like to congratulate you. I'd like to keep up the great work. Next, I would like to bring up Councilwoman Barbara Rogers, who will be making a few words.
It's a real privilege to stand up here and make presentations to people in the city who have given so much. I feel very humble when I look at what other people have done, but I'm very proud to be in a community where so many people care. And tonight, I'm honored to give out 5 awards in the area of volunteerism. The first of these goes to Kristen Burke. Kristen?
I want to be a better person. I want to know my world better, and through community service, I can do that. And also getting to know different people from all facets of life. And I don't think you can get that anywhere else but through community service, because that's when you work with the people, the heart of the world. Most of them poor, down in life, things like that. And that's where you really learn a lot. I've learned a lot about myself and the world around me through community service. And that's what I get out of it.
Kristen Burke is a recent graduate of Cupertino High School, where she served 4 years as a member of the Interact Club. She was named Outstanding Interactor for 2 years and participated in more than 20 activities during those years. Among those activities, she helped set up and establish a counseling program for troubled students, drove 700 miles in a crowded van to a Mexican orphanage where she helped dig leach lines, paint a 30,000-gallon swimming pool, and played with 50 orphans at the site. She has worked in soup kitchens from San Francisco to San Jose. She has entertained at convalescent hospitals and played bingo with senior citizens. She has a long history of community service and has also gained academic achievement awards in English and in science. Imbued with an amazingly high level of compassion, Kristen Burke embodies the Interact motto, service above self. Kristen, thanks so much for caring. You make a difference. Our next recipient, there are two, Louise Roberts and Joyce Snow. And accepting for Joyce Snow will be Agnes Locker. Louise, Agnes.
Yes, this was a district art contest, which was participated by the Cupertino School District. It covered preschool through high school. We had an overall prize of $100, which went to a high school student, and a $50 went for second place overall. Went to a high school student. We had 130 participants in our contest from all the schools in the Cupertino district.
Louise Roberts and Joyce Snow served as co-chairmen of a district-wide art contest for Cupertino elementary and high school students, sponsored by Cupertino Federated Women's Club. More, they are recognized for their outstanding efforts in making this event successful and ensuring that young winners went on to district and state competitions. Their efforts included contacting schools, collecting entries, displaying works, arranging for judges, and presenting prizes. Louise Roberts and Joyce Snow typify the quiet but effective support of the community's needs by the Cupertino Federated Women's Club members. Joyce and Louise and Agnes, as president this year, your efforts through Cupertino Federated Women's Club make this a better community. Thank you. Our next honoree is Marge Best. Marge.
At the time that I joined CCS, it was a struggling organization. It had been around for a while, but it was extremely small, very low visibility, and I kind of got the feeling that one person could really make a difference in that organization, and it was a challenge to see if maybe you could really get in there and work on something and make it work. And it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people who worked very hard on that. And now I think we have come along where it's a very dynamic group of people that are working on it.
Marge Best has been a member of the Cupertino Community Services Board of Directors for the past 5 years and has helped that agency develop and grow in service. Additionally, she is active in Boy Scouts, is a chartered member and former board director of Cupertino Sunnydale League of Women Voters, and has a lifetime PTA membership. She has devoted countless hours to the annual Cupertino Community Service fundraiser, and she is called upon by many community nonprofit organizations because of her ability and her willingness to serve. Marge Best exemplifies what volunteerism means in Cupertino. Thank you, Marge, and keep up the good work. And the last honoree in the area of volunteerism is Elizabeth Mulford.
gotten out of working with CCS is meeting some really neat people, from Donna Aparici off the barbecue committee to a lot of other people in Cupertino. I've met people I wouldn't have otherwise had. I enjoy, for instance, turning my kid into a streetwalker for the Goblin Brigade and starting a new program here which brings in canned goods to feed those in need. We're trying to start a breakfast program, and there's always something new to do.
Elizabeth Mulford is active as a community volunteer in several areas, including Cupertino Community Services, where she has been a board member for 6 years. She has spent numerous hours writing grants for that agency, inaugurated a Halloween program for children to collect canned goods for the needy, and is presently working with Cupertino Community Services and the Cupertino Union School District to establish a breakfast program throughout the elementary schools. A local attorney, she is also active as a volunteer judge pro tem and is a former president of the Sunnyvale Cupertino Bar Association. Liz Mulford shows us how a busy professional can find time for helping in the community. Along with all the others we've honored tonight in volunteerism, we say to you, thank you for caring and doing something about it. And I'm pleased to introduce to you now Councilmember Barbara.
Tonight, I have the honor of presenting the awards for community service. There are 4 nominees that fall into this category. And the first one to receive an award is Lynn Batchelor.
I get a lot of satisfaction from the fact that I see people producing the most wonderful works that go on and are shown to the community, and to be working with a group which has been nominated as the best overall access channel in the nation for 3 years and has won your best in the nation for two of those 3 years. It's a wonderful experience to see people turning out what's in their hearts and making it available to their neighbors.
Lynn has been a driving force in Cupertino's Cable Television Advisory Committee since its formation in 1981. He has served as chairman for the past 2 years. Since 1976, he has worked to provide the best possible cable television alternatives for the city, using his own technical knowledge and spending countless volunteer hours doing research on this complex subject. It is unusual for an individual to give so unselfishly of his time as he has. He certainly deserves recognition by this community. Congratulations to you. The next nominee for community service is Jane Reed.
Because I'm an A personality, and I've always believed that if you're going to be in an organization or your children are going to be in an organization, you should participate and do whatever you can for that organization. And so my husband says I just can't say no, and that's just about it. I get in, I get involved. A lot of times I'm kind of afraid, working with the veterans or working at the rest homes. It's uncomfortable because it's unknown. But once you get in and do it, it's fantastic, and I really enjoy doing it. People don't realize what fun it is. But that's how I got into it, I think. I just can't say no.
Jane is past president of the Cupertino Federated Women's Club and has held a variety of chairmanships for that organization and many other service groups. Among her accomplishments, she initiated 2 new local scholarships for local junior college students. Jane is also very active in providing entertainment for those in rest homes and convalescent hospitals. Last year, she baked 35 pumpkin pies for veterans and a drug rehabilitation ward in Menlo Park when she learned that they would not have a hot Thanksgiving meal. She is always generous when asked to donate to any cause that supplies people with the basic need of living. Congratulations. The next award goes to Vincent Laporta. Vincent is not here tonight, but accepting the award on his behalf is Skip Stevens.
Vince is certainly deserving of such an award as this for the work that he has put in. Vince has almost single-handedly been responsible for getting the equipment, the communications equipment, set up here at City Hall and at the Corporation Yard. Vince, together with Ken Stevens, KN2A, have been the primary ones working with the equipment here and working with the contractors in getting the antennas on the roof of the building here, the lead-in wire and such. And Vince has been our primary liaison with the city and interfacing with as far as our meetings are concerned and as far as the equipment and setting up the emergency communications here in the basement of the City Hall.
Vince has volunteered untold hours in the planning and procurement of equipment and supplies for the equipping of the amateur radio communications facilities at both the Emergency Operations Center, which is at City Hall, and the alternate Emergency Operations Center at Cupertino Service Center. Vince is a perfectionist. He insists that the highest quality of workmanship be put into the communication facility installations. He has been responsible for the configuration of the communication operating positions, planning and installation of the antennas and support structures at both facilities. He follows up on work performed by both city and contract employees to make sure that the facilities will perform in the manner expected and when needed. Our congratulations to Mr. Laporta. We're sorry he's unable to be here. Yes, please accept this award. The next recipient for community service is Gaubatz. If I pronounce that correctly.
About 3 years ago, I wasn't very active as an amateur radio operator, and I decided to start getting into the hobby again. About that time, an article appeared in the Cupertino Scene inviting amateurs from the city of Cupertino to come down to City Hall for a CARES meeting. And I did, and have become quite involved with the group and enjoy it very much.
Don is a quiet volunteer. He has served untold hours in the planning and execution of city and county-wide amateur radio communication exercises. He has been responsible for creating the cooperative and communicative relationship between the city and the CARES group. Don is an organizer. He has been involved with the amateur radio emergency service at the city and district levels. He has helped the city of Cupertino develop a cooperative relationship with other communities in Santa Clara County, and he has been instrumental in opening lines of communication with emergency public and private service organizations. Congratulations. At this time, I'm going to turn the program back to Donna Craig.
that point in the program where it's time for the new page. For your enjoyment tonight, we have the Monolith Madrigals, led by Jack Lindsay. Coming right to the door right there. After their performance, we will have the City Award. Mayor John Gatto will present that. Here now are the Madrigals.
Number we'd like to do for you is an old French madrigal called You're Dancing, My Dearest.
Je t'aime ma belle, ta danse me plaît. Je t'aime ma belle, ta danse me plaît. Ta grâce immortelle, mon âme répète. Ta grâce immortelle, mon âme répète. Mon âme répète. So gay, your dancing, my dearest, don't make me so gay. Your grace, oh my love, it is like a ballet. Your grace, oh my love, it is like a ballet. Yes, yes, like a ballet.
The next are two love songs written by Robert Young. The first one is For My Dearest Love, followed by a number called Sequel. The first one, the words are written by Shakespeare, the second from Solomon.
When in disgrace with fortune and designs, I my outcast state, my fate, wishing me light to one more rich in hope. Featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented peace. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with case. Set me as a seal upon thine arm, upon thine arm. For love is strong as death is strong as death. Set me as a seal upon thine arm. As a seal upon thine arm, for love is strong as death, for love is strong as death.
Now we would like to do a little something that's a little contemporary. The last two numbers were contemporary, but this one is featured the young man, and it's from a group called the Nylons.
You know I love you. I'll always love you. Even though the tears are falling from my eyes. Oh, I still remember, baby, when our love was so strong. So go on, go ahead and kiss him. Go on and kiss him. Goodbye, goodbye. Whoa, goodbye. Now he's never near you to comfort and cheer you. Who know, even though the tears are falling, who falling from your eyes. He might be thrilling, baby, but my love is ready and willing. So go on, go ahead and kiss him. Go ahead and kiss him. Go ahead and kiss him. Go on and kiss him. Goodbye, goodbye. Whoa, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Whoa, goodbye, bye, bye. Na 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 na. 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 Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. na, hey, 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 goodbye.
In closing, we would like to close again with a patriotic number, America the Beautiful, arranged by Carmen Brett.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea, America, America, America.
Boy, I wish I could always follow them. Does this thing work? Is it on? Okay. Well, it's very fitting that we would have the madrigals here. And as I go out, let's have another round of applause so I can hear us going out the door. In an evening when we're dealing with community efforts and community involvement, there's a perfect example, and I think one of the real prides of our community. I'd like to just take a moment at this point to recognize a couple of Donnas. First off, Donna Cray, who is responsible for putting this program this evening. I think she owes a really round of applause. In a few moments after we complete the ceremony, we'll be asking you to join us in the buffet. It looks like a buffet back there, and I think everyone will have a wonderful time at the reception and get a chance to meet each other. The second Donna I'd like to recognize is a little bit of a sadder note. In Liz Mulford's little clip, you'll see she made reference to Donna Aparici. Donna had been involved in a number of community activities, very involved with the CCS and a number of the chamber activities. We were very saddened to lose Donna last week. So I'd ask you to join me in just a moment of silence and recognition of that. But I know that Donna would not want us to be sorrowful, but rather be joy of the activities and the participation and the time that we did have to participate in giving the service to this wonderful community. If you look at the yellow program that you received this evening, and on the back side, you'll see the list of the recipients from years past. I think you'll all agree that tonight's recipients certainly belong to be in that very esteemed company. And I'd like to ask you at this time to join me in a round of applause for all the recipients. And also, you'll be pleased to know that you heard it first tonight that we have Congresswoman Barbara Koppel with us. This is a real joy for me to be able to participate at this point in the program. We've had the awards, and what we now are going to present is a city award. And I'm glad I didn't have to make this choice, because I tell you, every one of the recipients of tonight's awards really could receive the city award. But the committee did choose 2 recipients out of the group that received tonight's awards to receive that. And in the spirit of Hollywood productions and the media events today, we're going to roll it, and you're going to see the recipients.
I was nominated by Dennis Whitaker for working with Cupertino Community Services and on the rink issue primarily. I became involved with CCS because when I was here first practicing law in about 19 74, I heard Marilyn Christian, who is the director of Operation Roundup, which is the forerunner of CCS. And I believe she spoke, it probably was Chamber of Commerce. And I was interested in what she was doing, and I ended up doing a batch of legal things for Maryland and CCS, then Roundup, and then became president of the Countywide Information and Referral Services Board, a job that I resigned because of motherhood 10 years ago. Moved to Palo Alto, came back to Cupertino, and Joe Tembrock took me to lunch and said, "Oh, Liz, Marilyn says you're back in town, and I need somebody on the CCS board because I would like to retire from the presidency." So I came on the board on the clear understanding that Joe couldn't bail until I'd been on it for a year. He then retired from the presidency and turned it over to me, and I was president for 3 years, and I'm still on the board.
I've become very involved, and of course this is one of the things that I'm very interested in, is open space and preservation of the green land and recreation, leisure activities, these kind of things. I think this all started back in 1975-76 when I was appointed by then Mayor Reed Sparks to the committee for the bicentennial celebration, which celebrated the 200th anniversary of our country. And from that point on, I became interested in city affairs, and in 1983 then I applied for the Parks and Recreation Commission and was appointed, and since have gone on to do other things in parks and recreation.
We have Liz Mulford and Dean Skeels, please come forward. Do we hear that? Liz and Dean, would you please come forward? It gives me great pleasure to be able to present these awards to Liz and Dean. I'll do them first to Liz. Liz, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for lots of opportunities of service in this city and for a neat group of people that make it such a joy.
I, too, would like to say thank you to all that have been involved in this celebration tonight, and you can bet that I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going because I love Cupertino, and I'm going to do all I can for it. Thank you very much.
Again, I'd like to ask you a big round of applause for all the recipients this evening. And now we have refreshments at the rear of the auditorium. We invite you to join us, and let's party.